Hello, it's Michelle DeLeon for Two Peas in a Bucket with another Seeing Double video. Today I wanted to focus on typography in this layout and card that I created. And here's a look at a detailed shot of the layout. So first I'll just start by showing you some of the products that I pulled out for this page. Just on top there I have the October Two Peas in a Bucket printables, and the theme is all about me with the black and white color scheme. And these printables were actually how I came up with the idea for typography for my theme. There's just a lot of great different fonts in these printables, and they're just really fun to use. And a look at some of the pattern paper that I pulled out. So the ones on top here are from Crate Paper, and this one is by Maggie Holmes Flea Market, and it's a really great neutral with different words all over it, and I think it's a really nice subtle print. Underneath there is a tag kind of paper with a lot of different words, again from Maggie Holmes, and this one is by Close Knit Crate Paper. And this one here is an older one, Maggie Holmes, her first line. And this one here is by Pebbles, and it has a lot of great different sayings and cute little fonts. And this one is Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Party, and I really love that I love you more than ice cream sentiment. And this one is by Amy Tangerine. There's also some great fonts in the Carta Bella Hello Again line. And here I have an Amy Tangerine cut and paste paper, and I used it and my Silhouette Cameo to cut out this die cut file from Two Peas in a Bucket. Again, it's for the theme of All About Me, so it has a lot of words here that say be me, big, free, awesome, amazing, brave, and just some other great words that are nice to describe yourself and remind yourself of your good qualities. So I know I want a bold title, and I'm just trying to pick out which words I want to use. And I do know I want a mix of the fonts, so some of the cursive and some of the just bold font. And while I'm deciding, I'm just going to get out my background paper that I want to use. And this one is from Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Party, and it has this nice coral color with some faux white misting on it. So I want to use that as most of my background. So I have a 6x4 photo here, which is a bit bigger than I usually use, but it does have a lot of extra white space in it that I wanted to use to overlap some of the title with. So first I'm just going to mat my photo on this more colorful paper by Amy Tangerine Cut and Paste, and I just wanted to add some pops of color just because the background is quite light and pastel, and same with the paper that I used to cut out my title with. So first I just wanted to make sure that my title would fit, and just trying to see how it would look overlapping that extra white space in the photo. And I also wanted to add in a pattern paper with a lot of typography, so I'm choosing this one by Maggie Holmes Flea Market, again because it was a really subtle print. It's a great neutral, and I think it adds a lot of extra texture and detail to the page without being very overwhelming. And I'm just going to use half of it here, but I think it would also look great as a full background. And if you were worried about it being overwhelming, I think that you could easily take some white acrylic paint and a flat edge and spread it out to subdue some of that text a little bit. So here I was just trying to decide which side to use. There was just a few words that I thought were a little weird for a page about myself. Some of them were love you most or perfect. So I just tried to pick a side where the words that would be seen would be a little bit more appropriate, especially the ones that are closer to the photo. And I also wanted to switch around that pattern paper just so that the red would be a little bit more on the right side, just to bring some more color to that side. Something that I like about having a big bold title is that it gives you a bit more room to use cursive fonts that might otherwise be too thin if they're cut out in a small size. So I wanted to add something to that division between the two pattern papers. So I'm going to take out some ribbon, and this one is from Amy Tangerine Cut and Paste. And there's a polka dot, chevron, some crosshatch pattern, and some plain ones. And I'm going to take out the yellow chevron pattern. And I actually already had a piece cut out, and I was planning to use it for something else, and it didn't work out. So I have two smaller strands here, not a full 12-inch length. So I'm just going to try to use the photo to kind of hide the fact and use both pieces to make it look like it's just one continuous piece. So now I have my main elements in place with my photo and my title, and instead of adding more layers, I just wanted to add some smaller details. So I'm going to take this tab from the October printables, and I just wanted to add smaller details here and there throughout the page. So I wanted to put these ones kind of tucked behind the photo. And while I was adding those in, I was also trying to take note of where I could place my journaling. The left side of the page has the most extra space, and I didn't really want to write directly on the background, so I was thinking of using this Banana Fish Studios library card printable and just placing it into a pocket if possible. I'm a big fan of those library pocket type of embellishments because sometimes I just don't like having the journaling right out there, and I like it to be kind of hidden and a bit more private. So here I have the Amy Tangerine Cut and Paste vellum pockets, and I just wanted to see if that journaling card would fit in. So I'm going to pick that one with the heart, which at first I felt a little weird about having a heart on a page about myself, but I figured it was going to be kind of covered if I put it underneath some of the title there. And the library card did fit perfectly, so that was good. And I'm just playing around with the placement to see where I want to put it. I didn't want it to line up exactly with the photo, just for visual interest, so I wanted it to be a little bit off center from the photo. And since I'm still finalizing the placements, I haven't used adhesive, which gets a little bit hard to move everything around all the time, so I just wanted to make sure I knew where things were going to be so I could start adhering things down. And here I just thought that the title wasn't really popping out as much as I wanted, so I'm just going to look through my 6x6 Amy Tangerine Cut and Paste paper pad and just wanted to cut out some colorful pieces to add behind some of the openings behind the letters. So I just tried to choose some of the papers that were a bit more bold and just adhered them behind those openings. I think it also would have been nice if I had cut out the title on just a brighter piece of paper in general. Just maybe that Amy Tangerine Cut and Paste colorful paper that I matted the photo with. I think that would have looked really nice if the title was in that colorful paper. The main reason that I chose such a neutral paper was just because I knew it would be a really bold part of the page regardless. So now that I have an idea of where I want my photo and my journaling and title, I'm going to start adhering things down before I embellish any further. So I just wanted to start with that ribbon and get that down. So I'm just trying to make sure that I know exactly where my photo will be so that the end of the first piece of ribbon will be hidden. So I'm just making a note of that and using my hot glue gun to adhere it down. And I just did the same thing with that other piece of ribbon and just made sure that the chevrons were in the same direction. And now that the ribbon's adhered down, I can finally put down my photo and start getting my title in place as well. So again, I'm just trying to rearrange it and make sure it's exactly where I want it. I did plan on having stitching down the center of my title, so I just wanted to make sure everything was perfectly in place. And I'm just going to use a little bit of adhesive, and since I know I do want it to stitch down the center, I'm going to try to adhere only on the edges mainly, just to avoid getting any adhesive stuck in my needle and getting that all gummy. So I'm just trying to carefully adhere the sides down. And some of the words didn't cut in one full piece, like brave and creative, which is actually really good, just so that I can kind of play around with the spacing, since I did want the cursive words to be more visible as well. So here I added my stitching, and I just did it down the center of the title here, and I just want to try to fit in my journaling card and my vellum pocket now. And I did specifically look at where I wanted to stitch it, and there should be enough room to just kind of slide in that journaling underneath part of the title. And a lot of the time, journaling for me is a bit more personal, so the fact that it's in a vellum pocket and also partially covered by the title is a bit more comforting to me, just to know it's not just right on display there. And now I just wanted to add some little details here and there. So I have those journaling tabs that I cut out earlier, and I'm just going to finally adhere them down behind the photo. These are the crepe paper close-knit dimensional embellishments, and I wanted to add that red paper flower somewhere. I just really love how the red pops, so I'm going to try to add it to that corner there. I also have the Maggie Holmes chipboard shapes, and I wanted to use the 4 gold photo corners here. And I wanted to add 2 of them to my photo and 2 of them to the opposite side where my journaling card is, just to create a bit more cohesiveness between the page and between the 2 sides, so that there's something common on each side. And I really like how well the new Maggie Holmes line works with the new Amy Tangerine and new Dear Lizzie lines. I use mainly those products on this page, and I just feel like they really complement each other. So to add further embellishments, I have the Amy Tangerine cut and paste chipboard sticker accents here, and I'm just taking out the pink rectangle that says write this down, and I wanted to put it near my journaling, obviously, and I just felt like it was a little bit long. It would have fit perfectly if I didn't have that photo corner, but I didn't want to take that out, so I decided to just trim down the sticker a bit. I also wanted to add in a die cut tag. I ended up switching that yellow one out just because I didn't want too much typography. I just felt like I had too many sayings too close together, so I just picked one with a shape on it instead. So here's a look at the main part of my page, the title, and the full page as well. For my card, I wanted to use some of the same materials that I showed at the beginning, so I just have the other half of that Maggie Holmes paper here, and I wanted to use that as the main background. So I'm just going to adhere a piece down just on the actual card base. I seem to be really bad at doing it the opposite way and cutting up the piece and adhering it down. It always is a little too small for some reason. So I just went ahead and trimmed it after I adhered it down. So for my sentiment, I wanted to use one of the ones from this Pebbles For Me to You paper. And the one I chose says, I thought of you and smiled. And all of them are really great for different types of cards. They kind of come in a 3x4 card. The background is kind of a neutral grid, and then it has that 2x2 chalkboard square inside of it. So here I'm just cutting out the whole 3x4 because I wasn't sure if I wanted that size or if I just wanted to cut out only the chalkboard piece. And I just decided I wanted the square only. I also wanted to use a bit of the same ribbon that I used on the layout, So I'm just going to take out a piece and put it behind the sentiment there. I also had out the same embellishments from the page that I just made. So I have the crepe paper close-knit embellishments, and I wanted to add that little dimensional heart. I also had the Maggie Holmes chipboard shapes out as well, and I wanted to see if that gold frame would fit around the sentiment. So I'm just trying to take it out here and see if it does fit. And it actually fit perfectly, so I'm just going to add that in to add a bit more dimension to my card. And there was just 2 notches on the frame, so here I'm just trying to decide if I wanted it at the top or bottom, and I decided on the bottom. I also wanted to add some type of floral just to go in with that little flower on the sentiment. So I'm going to take out this die cut from the Dear Lizzie polka dot party line and just add that in behind the sentiment. And once I'm done adhering everything down, I'm pretty much done with the card. And I really like the extra details that the typography gives to the card and the different dimension that background especially gives to it. Here's a look at the finished card and the 2 finished projects again. My challenge this month is to use typography for a bold title on your projects. Thank you so much for watching.